So the next one is from Ahmad Ayamuddin. Kind of a weird.
That's a first.
Subject is Heyman and TNA. Hey guys, Yusef from Los Angeles here with the first ever email to the program. Love the show and thanks for keeping us entertained during these crazy times. My question for you all. Doing a shoot interview years ago, Happy Heyman talked about how he almost joined TNA during their Spike TV days, but it fell apart because Dixie Carter was not ready for his help. Quote, that was a quote. Do you guys have any insight as to why two sides couldn't come to an agreement? Something tells me it's more of Dixie Carter being a total effing idiot who would rather pay Hogan and Bischoff millions to run a company into the ground versus bringing someone in who could actually make the program successful. Bischoff creating the dollar store knockoff of the NWO Aces and Eights just to get his son on TV was all you need to know about his intentions. How do you think a Heyman-led TNA on Spike would have done? Thanks for answering my questions and a happy late 420 to Conan. You said from Los Angeles. I got a little insight to this. Yeah. Russo was the guy that actually had the conversation to bring Paul in. And from my understanding of having this conversation with Vince, I think we actually did it on his podcast. Heyman wanted control, and Dixie was not ready.
He wanted part of the company. He wanted part ownership.
Yeah. So whatever he wanted, he wanted what Dixie wouldn't give him. Yeah. That basically was it. Like he wanted too much.
Right. And I also remember during that time that he wanted to get rid of a lot of the TNA guys that Dixie liked.
Yeah. Anybody over 40 at the time.
Right. And he wanted to bring in Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryanson.
Yeah.
And I think he also wanted to bring in Jim Ross, I think.
Right.
Or did they talk to Jim Ross?
Yeah. And
actually, no, I'm going to bring this up. We're going to have Vince on later, right?
Yeah. We'll
discuss that. We'll discuss that with him and see what the deal is with.
Yeah. Because I even remember when Jeff Jarrett, when Toby Keith was interested in getting the company, right. One of the things was like you had to keep her on, right? And I think she had to have like an on-air role. So she'd marked out completely for herself instead of saying, let me give this to somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what I want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what I know about that. But and of course, Paul would have done great.
Another big change was his lieutenant.
So Paul would have worked with,
his lieutenant would have been Gabe Sapolsky, if you remember. He was going to bring Gabe in, and it would have been Paul and Gabe, running the company.
So then Gabe would have just ripped off all the young guys back then. Nothing.
I think Paul and Vince Russo would have worked really well together. Because
both New Yorkers are both kind of come from the same background. You could have actually let Paul write the show and book the show, and Vince would have helped produce talent, like been a producer, because that's what Vince did a lot of, is producing the interviews and stuff. Right.
I think they would have actually worked pretty well. You know.